Said this, I know that the South Africans are very emotional people. They are not rational people. What's his name? Their former president Mandela was housed by Nnamdi Azikiwe in Nigeria here when he needed. No, but he was deliberately not taught in their schools. So an average Nigerian, the competition started economically when a hustling Nigerian gets on the streets in South Africa and makes a living, and you look at him and you just envy him and you tell your kids false stories.
Nigerian students contributed financially towards the education of black South Africans. The Nigerian High Commission in Botswana issued hundreds of Nigerian passports to South Africans.
It's coming from a place where we have seen hate, that has been thrown at Nigerians and Nigeria and all that we represent, specifically by South Africans. I don't see Nigerians, I've never heard of any Nigerian that just hates South Africa. Instead, we call them out for their lack of knowledge, their lack of understanding of who we are, what we represent for their country. Illiteracy will kill Africa. Illiteracy is our problem in Africa. The lack of education and lack of our awareness of who we are, what our story is what will kill us.
And it's extremely important that we Africans tell ourselves because we are all Africans.
So apparently, South Africans are holding their president by the balls, calling for his resignation for approving 5 years visa policy for Nigerians. And according to these Nigerian pundits, to them, South Africans lack knowledge and understanding. And because of that, illiteracy will kill Africa. Indirectly trying to say African countries that has issues with Nigerians living in their countries are nothing but illiterates. And that's, in this day and age, we need to try and come together as one. That's, trying to preach the unification of Africa kind of thing, But instead, South Africans are rather hating on them. So, according to these pundits, the problem South Africans have against Nigerians is that South Africans are scared Nigerians are coming to take their women away from them, which doesn't even make sense in the first place. Instead of admitting and analyzing the main reason, which is the crime their people keep committing across the globe, you always find them on TVs defending the criminals. Always trying to, push another agenda, trying to, pretend as if they don't know the exact reason why people keep complaining about Nigerians in every single country. I just want you guys to listen to these pundits as they discuss this issue and let me know what you think about what they are saying concerning the issue. And if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. It's very important. Subscribe, like, share the video, and let's go listen to them. Don't forget to put your comments down below. Let me know what you think.
Thanks for staying with us. So our hot topic today is about the Nigeria-South African relationship. So there's a hashtag Ramaphosa must go, which is trending on social media as some South Africans have voiced their dissatisfaction with President Cyril Ramaphosa following his recent announcement of a simplified 5-year visa process for Nigerian nationals. The announcement came at a time when relations between both countries have been quite tense, often reflected in heated exchanges on social media. Critics argue that a relaxed visa policy could exacerbate existing social and economic challenges within South Africa. What are your thoughts on this? I would love to hear from Nigerians living in South Africa, Nigerians here, and probably even South Africans. You can call us on 081-0764-1679, 090-241-63440. You can also send us messages on YouTube and on X. We'll be happy to read your messages. This is quite... When I saw some of these videos of South Africans voicing their dissatisfaction, obviously, and the fact that it's quite trending right now, and they're saying that the president must go, although the president has tried to reiterate that he's not opening the doors for all Nigerians, business owners who are willing to come to their country to do business. They're willing to give a 5-year visa such that you don't even need a passport to apply for it. And some have come out to say, what products in Nigeria do we need in South Africa? Others are saying also. So What are your thoughts on this? Because this reminded me, because I always have to go back to where our relationship started from. You know, this is, Nigeria is the last person South Africa should do this way. But what are your thoughts? Let me come to you thoughts before we go into the history.
Is there a way to discuss it without discussing
Yeah, go ahead,
history?
go ahead. Let's go ahead. Let's see.
Because when I read the comments, I didn't even watch the video. I've only read the comments of people's response to the president's this decision to ease the process or create a simplified visa process for Nigerians to get into South Africa. My thought was, wow. This is why it is important that we talk about history and we teach history in school. And then I remember going to Rwanda and how Rwandese will tell you that what happened will never happen again because the government made it a conscious thing to teach every Rwandese, Rwandan person the history of what happened, what caused it, and how to prevent it. As long as you don't know who you are, you don't understand the history, you don't understand your legacy, you don't understand your genealogy, you don't understand the strength of who you are, you will fall for anybody's, what's the word, propaganda. The majority of people that shared this comment are young, and they have been led to believe that by fighting each other, because we are all blacks, by fighting each other and overcoming one another or forming what bigger than one another, you will get to shine. I don't shine from Mariah being down. I only shine better when she's shining. And it's extremely important that we Africans tell ourselves the truth because we are all Africans. Once we leave Africa like this, they don't call you Nigerian, so they don't call you South African. They just say Africa. So the South African person typing and tweeting that a president should go because the president is thinking of Africa as one is someone that needs to be educated and just be pitied, not insulted, which is what Nigerians are now doing. I'm like, let's not get into this Rokolofo fight. It's not worth it.
So for me, I just even want to talk about the policy itself and the way, when we first talked about it, when we read it off the newspaper, I remember Nima was a bit hesitant about this new relationship and what they were coming to do and asking that the Nigerian government be, shine your eyes, concerning this. And it's coming from a place where we have seen hate, that has been thrown at Nigerians and Nigeria and all that we represent, specifically by South Africans. And I was hoping that, these policies and these conversations that have started will help foster a better relationship, between these two countries. As we know, we've just left the issue of Miss Universe. We know all the bad blood. What's the word now? The narrative that was, perpetuated during that time. She's Nigerian, her father is Nigerian, she can never be South African. Because of that, they pushed her to the point that girl had to leave that country and run on, her father's, where she comes from, her father's nationality. And it shows you the deep-seated hatred that exists, in South Africa against Nigerians specifically. I don't see Nigerians, I've never heard of any Nigerian that just hates South Africa. Never. Instead, we call them out for their lack of knowledge, their lack of understanding of who we are, what we represent for their country, what the relationship truly is. And for me, when I even saw the story and how everyone has reacted, I said, illiteracy will kill Africa. Illiteracy is our problem in Africa. The lack of education and lack of our awareness of who we are, what our story is what will kill us. Now, this policy that has been presented, it was not a policy. South Africa did not give that policy because it just loves Nigeria and wants to help Nigeria. It was looking for things for themselves as well, to build their country as well. It was opening up the borders to business people, people that will go in legally and do business in South Africa that would improve South African economy. But South Africans, because they don't understand that, and I see that across Africa a lot of times, where we put all these sentiments of Nigerians are coming to come and finish our resources. Nigerians are marrying our women. Do you understand? Those are the level of conversation I'm seeing. Things like they're coming to marry our women. Like really, is this what we're discussing?
In 2024.
But in 2024. But now, even though there's so much backlash about this, I hope that this means we'll be having conversations and encouraging people and educating Nigerians and South Africans on the necessity of having a strong relationship between the two biggest economic powers in Africa. United States and the UK and Canada, they are constantly fostering relationships because they understand what it does for their economy. They understand what it does for when they go to the United Nations and they sit down and they come together and make a decisions for their people, for their race. That is how we should start thinking. But the regular African man is thinking about those who are marrying his women and those who are, you know, please. So I just hope that the president does not back down from having a proper conversation to educate his people.
Okay, thank you, Miriam. This, you know, I expressed my, I preempted this. I know that the South Africans are very emotional people. They are not rational people. I say it with all sense of, Auntie?
Majority,
all sense
the ones
of,
online.
all sense of responsibility.
So qualify it, all the ones
yes,
online.
the ones online, yeah, okay. Because they are not rational people. Their country right now economically is in their need, just as we are. And it's time for trade alliances to help you boost. Our lithium, we can sell it by ourselves. We can actually bring in investors, build the factories, and make the lithium into batteries here and export it. I don't know why we are not looking that way. That's where I have my grievances with our own government here. Why are we always willing to sell our minerals? Why are we not making it into complex products here so that we let go of this talk? You know, if a South African rain fall inside one person's house, an average South African will blame the Nigerian neighbor who opened shop. I saw a video of one woman saying that why are we the ones selling provisions? As simple as that, because what he named as the Nigerian selling, one said to sell used phones that, you know, can be bought on Amazon. Or this thing is a Nigerian thing that is stolen phones. If they smoke drugs on the streets of South Africa, it's a Nigerian that caused it. You see it go, hashtag. We've been hashtagging, and they've been hashtagging us for years. From when, you know, the entire Bode Thomas was taking over, it's been that hashtag. Xenophobia happens, they hashtag us. You know, and it's much, it will be really nice, as Tokwe said, that, you know, more history is taught about how we consider them brothers. How our leaders in the past thought apartheid should end, even though they were one country far away from us. They were not Niger, neither were they Togo.
Let me build on that, because I was going to go there, because I want to also, sometimes we have to remind ourselves of where we're coming from to know where we're going. Yeah. And I had to dig up a few facts of where Nigeria stood. After many of us heard about the 69 people that were gone dead in South Africa back in 1969 during March, where they were killed, and that's what led the international uprising against apartheid at the time. And for decades, Nigeria led the implementation of sanctions against the apartheid-led government in South Africa. But more importantly, aside from what we're doing in the United Nations and the Commonwealth, a few things I dug up, which I thought was important for us to state here, for even Nigerians to know that Nigeria championed the anti-apartheid cause at the Commonwealth, taking a leading role in economic sanctions against the country. More importantly, Nigerians, let me read it from here. I wanted to read a specific part of it, where it said Nigerian students contributed financially towards the education of black South Africans. The Nigerian High Commission in Botswana issued hundreds of Nigerian passports to South Africans who had fled the country, and even the Nigerian civil servants contributed portions of their salaries to the South African Relief Fund, which supported the anti-apartheid movement and was popularly known as the Mandela tax. In addition, hundreds of South Africans studied in Nigeria, many of whom went on to occupy key positions in government, private sector, and academia across South Africa eventually. So we were the big brother they needed during that season, because there was absolutely nobody to help to defend them at the Commonwealth. We had the leadership. And we, even aside from what the government was doing, Nigerians themselves, using part of their money to support their black brothers. Now, over the years, for various factors, the relationship was strained for different reasons. But that's what somebody said, that we need to go back to history, because we are more closer than divided. But it's always also good. Look at the other side. So I have seen the Nigerian side where we are the big brothers. Come to you, one second, Imam. We are the big brothers, and we deserve some kind of a relationship. However, on the South African side, some have expressed that you've come to our nation. We opened our borders to some of you. Some of you have done some illegal work. Some of you have held businesses that you didn't hire our own people. That you've also you've somewhat isolated yourselves from us. So they're both sides. So I am seeing there are different issues here from our own side and their own side. It's important for us to find a middle ground.
Let me just land on something I was saying. So there's a policy. We had our foreign policy and our African policy at the time that protected them. But there was a Nigerian, so just as you mentioned, a Nigerian, how is this a fellow
South
African?
Yes.
Whether South Africa or anybody, Nigeria continued to offer home. What's his name? The former president, Mandela, was housed by Nnamdi Azikiwe in Nigeria here when he needed. And nobody was deliberately not taught in their schools. So an average Nigeria, the competition started economically when a hustling Nigerian gets on the street in South Africa and makes a living. And you look at him and you just envy him and you tell your kids false stories about his hard work. Yes. If he comes to your country, because when they came here, South Africans married Nigerians, and Nigerians don't have stories of bad belle to any South Africans, so we did not pass any to our children. But down there, a lot were passed, and you will see the products online. Look at the last Miss Universe, and the drama that followed it. Just the bare fact that she had a Nigerian name.
Father.
Finish, oh. That was it. Even though she lived all her life with them, nothing. And you would see people uneducatedly talking about it. Are we forgetting that we are blacks? Recently, their president was in Algeria, and on his comments page, on his X page, they were there blasting him for another African alliance. Is it that everything African is bad until it is foreign? I don't understand. Are they by any chance, because, you know, they have a white settlements within their country, or white people more in their country than in any other African country? Does it make them white in any way? Because I don't understand the level of thinking that you hate yourself so much you would self-harm yourself. Now go to the streets. There's a documentary I saw, I think it was a BBC documentary, of their slums. Who told you that they are so economically good? It's just that our people like to look for opportunities, even in the worst places. If North Korea is not careful, we enter there. We will change things. We will make things happen there. I don't understand.
Okay, I have to go on the break. Go ahead.
Oh, okay. So I watched, because I want to go and watch Gladiator 2, I watched Gladiator 1, which is a very old movie. And in that movie, I saw a royal. I saw the emperor's son. And I saw fear, insecurity, and how low self-esteem can make a man lose the throne. A throne that is yours just because you just demean yourself. And I think that's the lie that a group of people have sold to South Africans, to make them feel fear and insecure about who they are, which is why they'll look at every other African as having more advantage. But psychologically, there's basis to that feeling. Because if you have been oppressed generationally for so long, there are places in South Africa you, as a South African, cannot enter.
Yes.
And they wrote it that it is not allowed that even dogs can enter this place, but South Africa cannot enter there. So we as Nigerians need to be more compassionate towards South Africans. They went through a whole lot, and we cannot understand what it is to go through it, because I am born free. My grandfather, as in, like, I am born, I carry my shoulder like Abi Naija. We know they carry last. So when somebody like that sees me, who doesn't even is inside the person's DNA, it has shrunk. There's this insecurity. We need to have more compassion, and then we need to work together to help them build confidence. Now, Cyril Ramaphosa is a 72-year-old man. He understands history. He knows what happened. He can have conversations that a 20-something-year-old person on X.com cannot comprehend. The only thing that 18-year-old, 20-something-year-old knows is these Nigerians, they come here and they live large. They spend money. They are fine. They are taking all the things. And so for them, they look at us and they are insecure, and they will go online and type things that Ramaphosa is not thinking about. So we have an assignment as Nigerians. There's something that Michelle Obama said: when they go low, we go high, which is our assignment. Okay. Don't go online as Nigerians and start insulting South Africa. You don't need it.
Let me pause you.
When they go low, you go high.
From Anambra. Walter, thanks for calling. Oh, I'm so sorry for keeping you. Yeah, go
ahead. You know, I have actually argued on that as well. I said that when I read, what's his name, Trevor Noah's book, and realized that they were still under colonial oppression in the 80s. I was like, this was just yesterday.
The independence was in the 90s.
Exactly. So I get that story. But Auntie, we're in 2024. Enough. It's time for tough love. We need to call them out on their bad behavior. Now, there's a video that's quite viral that I think you sent, where somebody was saying that their president, that's Cyril Ramaphosa, is doing this because he's not getting political support from South Africans, that he's afraid of his seat. So he wants to import millions of Nigeria. Uncle, you want to import millions of Nigeria to go and drop in their country so that they can vote for their president. I know that you think that we live in under the rocks or something. And I think, you know, tourism is very important. The people that talk like that usually haven't left the shores of their country or haven't even read history books or watched TV. Do you understand? Because if you do, you realize that Nigerians are living comfortably here and they are spread across the world. South Africa is not the only country that the people want to come in and to live. I understand that you have been oppressed for many generations. So you feel that when you're staying in the, you know, the areas where a lot of black people are, and you see the white areas, because they say that there's actually that there is a major demarcation between where Africans stay, where the South Africans stay, and where their white colonizers are staying. The economic difference is so glaring and so wide, and so for them they think we that were here were getting little crumbs from these white people. If Nigerians come with their smartness and their way they are going to get that into that community, which they already are because they have houses in those areas as well. And then they feel that that is how it's going to stop them from getting anything. We just need now to show them tough love and educate them on what it means for Nigeria and South Africa to come together for the good of the African man in South Africa, in Nigeria, and across Africa. That is what they need to understand.
Good morning, Mr. Rash. I'm say, time I'm in the morning, you know, I can't morning. Why? I come here and Casa Sukakra. Then I don't know if more be at the what the other. I'm say any son Nigeria for issue. Now, when him, there are a African unity. Maybe I'm a count was a Yempe lectures, Ghana, Obia Mame lecture Ghanaians about African unity. Because we are the originators of African unity through Osajefo Dr. Kwame Nkrumah of blessed memory. Nigeria for they never came aboard. So they say, you know, what has changed? You know, my Musuba be a in a ditch 70s, you go school, you have baby at the come for. You do a year, you feel school. So that time was the development, Mike Crobefa, you got normally schools not our askets. Can be a school beer, Corona found a school beer. I just say, it be a not check, and then almost the Corona found. But normally school no at our askets, Ghana schools, in New Krumankasa. I upon school, they dimrika, you do a bush in honor. She cry my, you know, let's go for no business, go for no bow, I think I'll come up for no bow. It did. And since from then, it was Nigerians. But when him, can afford no, he be a sorry, and then bring information. And we are seeing in a for mobile phone information be awesome. Can afford be a sorry, last time, or could be only my man reply problem so that about catching the Ghana for a pump a year fence Nigeria for the Ghana for a war according to when I'm Ghana. And suddenly in your audacity upon Ubi. I imagine you're gonna any agony. Say Jimmy, me a meeting Krumono. I crew now, oh papa, me rice, oh papa, no, in a kitchen and Gagranga, we see that while we see Gagra Krona Bedangana, my end. I will be aware about say one of the most peaceful in the world. Now, see who they identify criminals be obeying across the whole world. The Bible, one can say me what a be an emide. One pon a kind, actually, no, we can one back and I'm the association. Not the other. Say those who have eyes to see, let them see. And those who have ears to hear, let them hear. That's what the prophet of the land says. Even culture, crowd bonyo. Brought on 1 stone. So word a phrase in a womb. Na unim. The only baby or omo pa muzi nipa we onye blind ni igusu. Nso hu ade. The only baby or pa omaso esoso. Tesa danko aso. Nso omo ntefi. Na sense nipa ensua emfa history. Ensua history ntin. De bia na humanity yebre. Kana fo ntan obia. So me say me hu nipa bi me ntu kwan enko ba bi hu nipa bi a omo ye affable and calm and gentle say Ghanaians because even no motete ye no sa no mote. So because of changing Nigeria you are just practicing exercise in futility. It will be a complete exercise in futility. The reason being is that nipa na yetete na ngasa no sa na ne mamete sa na mate. When they come to Ghana, they complain about almost Ghana for Ghana police for the say, who near some Ghana goes from Pelmoasam. Ghana say, Ghana, Kana Kureno. Wouldn't the reason? The reason means that Ghana Nino, I had never partnered my idea when you're Mistroni at the entertainment, on one of back of a police uniform, on one obey you, Jenny, on one obey immigration, those there's no perfection everywhere. So they are saying, your bad policemen, we are not saying that Ghana is heaven. But what do I want to say is that, who can say me, I'm a few crumuna, me tax, and I said, me my one day, I build the crone, say, me the criminals be for me crum, no me yes, me pamona dear, and the young man of what couldn't you in answer Braganas. Who for anybody winning Yanza, or does me yes? Because you say, a quino, ye trap. Man can't die. Now the connecting. But yeah, I been kind, no. I assume I am because who come Ghanaian girl back one. What's the name community about? It doesn't have to be 500 a day. And that means they're gonna new one soul. We need them. So they are there. Kungana niba, sister be or some say, means them on so about where you know so pay. I know ya busy. That's what Ghanaians say. Or quite young fast, I am banchi crew. Someone came in and and Australia back home. Most Australia some bar for any marry. Aha. Ntino, omo wani ni de, ombe hu, omo wa son son beti. Ni be omo ani because Ghana for ni bia chese tumi hu omo adwene. So they are who can pay chese as if say ye de ma egu Nigeria for so ayi kun omo. You could come to Ghana boom. Ghanaians are not like that. Ntino bibi ya so amaye nkan wo yekrum. Chese across the world, they cry me one was am for we know say. Chese ubaka say they cause we has no money. Yen cinema Jimmy, I'm almost abroad. What's the money outside? So they are there, Ghana Jimmy and Famo. Then you could go there and blame the government. No, they are there. And Rush, Ghana will be very, very surprising. So they are there. Only Pana and Kasangasa Mufi Mukrumaba, they don't have unity in their own place. They don't have peace because there's no unity over there. Wakati nipa na ye say ine se ono ye fa na mra kroma na Ghana for ine ochina obeti ntwen na mo start kidnap black Americans no ene o fi ayi baba be from mo say di nwi waka jense ye ngonkochi wo enza sala mboza mo chile se ye ntwen na sa ye oni baby wo a omo wo event foresight ubi or foresight. I said, "Are we count 1, 2, 3, and 4 boomer? 1 year resource in basic. I mean, 2 1 among. And you only baby over on the side any answer. Now you're late, the answer. And then Australia was on Pom in my way. Tomorrow must be defending Nigeria for money for no momra. Come on board and defend them. Congratulations or Nigeria, may say America for unbabe immigrants. They should go and tell the Americans because more MAGA make American great again. Donald Trump supporters. Omo ampampa Donald Trump say ti omo samamo. Donald Trump say oba bepam hundreds of thousands of immigrants. Nti no sa nipa no guy no me so onko kan che Donald Trump say o ma America fo nyina mra fie ansa na we take his steps obi no de ne kro ukomu a ena ne nkrofo we ade am ye surprising me say last guy ba come by because Ghana criminal activities are omo ye wo events e Britain no enya asam keto e Ghanaian ena sa asam ne yente no yema I'm saying the bedroom and I say asam ne tezi then come ha me kan say every Ghanaian is 100% or perfection for Ghanaians. I'm not claiming perfection for Ghanaians. But bibia o ya what to me cuz who kwala 10 na say ba ko nye wo ma won me ka say wo kwala bonefo so the ade ba ko na nya na me nu na nye wo ma it out of 10 but say nkwala na 10 na emu 6 and 7 e criminals obi betun aboma ka say sa nkwala wo papa yi mai di omo nye onyi sa few no enfa nka ho ye nka na sa ma ne ye so because the Nigerian for a criminals it doesn't mean say every Tom, Dick and Harry person be all Nigeria criminal. But majority of them are criminals. And they are displaying it everywhere. Everywhere. Where me throw challenge be away so. Almost somebody defend me pel mo pa they should come. Sister be come. When you're more mum me defend a letter for no. When you be guasi. Me be ka kra mo to you platform bi aso. When you be guasi mo kana for na. What one am about to Britain na mo ato na. Mo nyin kana on. So the idea. No. Money be guasi because Nigeria is indefensible. You can't defend Nigeria. And they make us say even if a phone better not have frenzy. You know, more was somebody defend money for no why. More must see any country na won't be because we are need right. See a cano. Most of them money. So the idea. Not brain beso. The Ghana didn't start a pra. Obi to me the Kufu time. President Kufu time kai. Obi koye criminal activities. Yet now a Nigerian. Unim. Or you sue presidential letterhead office of the president of Ghana. Can you imagine? What try to in Nigeria? Ghana for Nigeria no. Ghana for story bay back one case. Oh, because Ghana phobia coaching Nigeria phobia the home going rituals. Says he set a for them all. And I just said no, because I don't know you if you saw your bar and ma and south in mind. You knew maybe a quiet fast you come home. So there are the ABCC is any proof of the Indian bank account. But proof of our mama. Ubetwin akọ Nigeria na ọkọ ti Nigeria ni ba ko pa bo ne twede. As a Ghanaian, what betides you? You bet you worry. Oh, no more right. What do we? So they are there. And so you see some foolish people saying that Nigeria for smart. What sort of smartness are you talking about? Smartness, say Obia or no, Onimu say Nigeria Nipansa, Ucha or Tonga, Ubenya say, Nipeti de cost say, Netetrema, a cost to say, Sanibana, and I'm some smart businessman. Oh, some Ghanaians. God. Last night I be and I'm gonna say, at some you lose a bobo. Ubi uncle chain, second Nigeria is who. Can I for you a few almost say, Nigeria for you no one share immediate borderline. Maybe a move with a film with geography. Nigeria, young kind of one just say, our brothers, our sisters, Omukasi, Omukamasa. We can any ground or offers all you below into a floor common. To be a floor common, they be a provoke every day. Almost some depends on me. Yes, I'm making an answer on this and Nigeria. If you Ghana and a call events, we if you Europe and I make Ghana 2019 as I'm making Lady B and now, but you know, I say any just one on Sakakra December. The names are also called Ghana. The Okona not phone so a yin baby. Plain maybe no back of friend. I say, or person no banacasa on the Kazaka business of free him again. Say, oh, because the Ghana is okay. Ghana is okay Ghana. Why are you going to Ghana? What are you going to do? Everybody Ghana. You see that rage, what I say, jealousy. They're full of jealousy. Anything that's happening good in Ghana. Send it away. Open now, Nabu. Oh, sister, now, money, brand now, can't answer them. Some enemies, or who will be on your VN, who be on our about. Meaning some brothers and sisters, and it's Benny them, no true. Now when you come about no to identify criminal, also be criminal ba. Fire wasam. Any phobia. But the young for now, you see a become and Jimmy be uncle. But Ghana Nina Yakuno, a minia. So I'll fight for her. Some of you go, won't you mean Nigeria and go born Nigeria, Ghana, Nigeria, and each day? It's that plain matter I'm making. You know, any every woman say, and also in Ghana, what are you going to do in Ghana? Everybody says it's going to Ghana. And sister say, but why are you people always having problems with Ghanaians? Just only more. Minimum, a trainer, you see, Femono, only me, yeah, but this is like I said, maybe I'm going to have a problem. Why? So when I'm showing okay, I said, I am here for you know, oh, anymore. Business, you see, for my business than Sophie, you know, or say of Haiti or Haitian American. Haiti, Haitian American, when you say Nigeria from Began of us. Ghana is only Ghana for only so I want to you. Unim, until Mudi Ghana for Temana, oh Ghana, not so common Ghana. Even Ghanaians are inferior. In fact, me to play no young was a Michael. We calm down. So I come on. Me try many na me share guy no come. No, because the Ghana you are come on. No him. You do Ghana airspace no. Say na Nigeria for no be transit no. This time round no. Sometimes they are bad. You Nigeria for no we answer. You Nigeria for no Lagos answer. And sana play number. So they are best see what events in Lagos. Na play number you Ghana for no fear san kwara. This time round no my yen sa. Omo the Ghana for no ba Nigeria for no ba Ghana. Now you do Ghana airspace you know. Omo the Ghana for do Ghana. Obi say which country is this? And I say you know the Ghana from here you look at the map na Ghana we don't reach. Ghana be this? Who light and I'm so yes Ghana be I'm sure the say yes this be Ghana. When we reach Nigeria airspace, you know, you didn't see right there. This is Ghana. Oh, sorry, I don't know. I don't know. I say, these people, mono, but I said, they be African country. No, to need for young African country come on. Does it make sense for you? Say, white man be, and I can't ask them, yeah. White country be, and no, Brunibi no can say, who you common, and African, you know, right. So my country being and catching Nigeria for some upon your criminality, their criminalities, nobody even use the word common for them. Yet they keep on, they enjoy calling Ghanaians common. Kwame Nkrumah's Ghana, they are common. Kofi Annan's Ghana, they are common. Steve Wonder, when we talk to them, they are saying that more artists. Steve Wonder is a naturalized Ghanaian, as I'm speaking. Steve Wonder. American legend, iconic legend, millionaire. I hear the video. You can't match Ghana in anything good. So there's Ghana and Nigeria, no? It's a matter of a good over evil. It's a matter of a good over evil. You be anywhere, more editing. If say obi to me fi US, no about say me be Ghanaian citizenship. But say who should say record we are what you know say? Obi fi US, I say me be Ghanaian citizenship. And na ya my agenda na my set agenda so mba no be say Ghana. Na Ghana fun bia won say she kura nkoso e bi kura nsi da. Last I saw a certain boy was saying say and I ritual medicine dey call events say say shia won twetwe ni peti any ade okay won twetwe ni peti say 15 yem pepe mfa meka ho won twetwe Ghana 40. Say no for yes no so won twetwe ni peti nti dey yen criminal no ye the resources and e be dey e be contain won. Yet to me, in fact, healthcare, Ghana healthcare. Healthcare, no, one say uncover yarinina. Why? Why? Because as a kind of woman, when you do, and come back over Bibia. And therefore, I say your omumra Ghana visa free. Or Yaria, a better crown, more healthcare, a big good. Omo titi outside on those solutions. Young guys will be a more be a man groom. Say, oh, 1 bedroom. No team. One will be who are mountain and watching. But we are managing and have a show and chain. No single room bed, no, or bedazo. But what we entertain 6 people? No analogy na me drawn. Oh, I can't answer me as if say, Ghana for hit, Ghana for Tata, for for Adade Muboga. Ghanaians are so civilized. You can't afford pay. I want some chain on Mancasa. But what you are doing is what we are saying is something that every Ghanaian must put it in perspective. Obiani who ye a mistake. Hey, no, do I hear no maybe brea, me supporting ye. You been in STEM education, no be brea, me support for this one. In any argument. For this one, Nana, in any argument, I beg to differ. Because an American healthcare, but the example at all. This number of them to no bar, almost free a. Who is going to pay? Who economy now? Also say I say no. Who is come on the between I shall some of them. Oh, money I shall went in the area, baby. Nipper Guis Legon. I am iconic site is Legon. And the Bill Kumazan babies are for example. The more as the volume back I am more. So the as Vienna City no money I like to fight baby the Bachawi. Apart from noted places, no, time be on Betty, then dinner, Omoji dime back one, then you buy 10. Omoji dime back one, then you buy 20. Me, my wife is in real estate or outside. And then, you want to mean to I hear ready to be better. I'm on for high. Now, we'll start a contract now 4 years. 4 years contract. Nigeria never sign contract no tier 2 months. They can. And now law no nipa no in 4 years they want to into no. Tier 2 months we wie want to be. Oba ko nipa 20 the na omo be good no. Say nipa no good apartment no mu no. Wa mo bi atia. Ukaso ntia 500 euros a month. Wa mo bi atia be 2 but some person no kita 2000. 2000 no only 500 and fan come fi euro no. They don't tia kora. Because the big scanner will cool motonga, Robo and his guy, and the sky and go be a bit go. But some of the greediness beyond comprehension. So there's no disconnection about them. What did the library account? Oh, I won't move you. I want the library light in the book account of me too. And also a scanner of the back of you and then my wife won't hide here. You make a chance there. People now don't remember make sure they won't for Nigeria any and farmer. Personal experience na kaja Miami no kasi personal experience opa ko Google na ko hwe so ti ase Germany Italy ko na ko hwe o Google bo say Nigeria for no bi kra na mo Nigeria for no ko ade na mgu nti say Nigeria for hwe na kra omunya a very difficult the last person to get a house in Europe in Nigeria because what the time before be fit there no kra na time just stand call renovate the Ghana for no so do time be Nigeria for no resource na bi mu kra dada obefi udan mu na wara obefa sampa waji Ghana for na omo omaye omo tiwa me de the dollar ba meje mo de be sa greedy Ghanaian landlords no wo de otufi udan mu a na bo say iska oje ye no e so de koye adwuma ni nyina bi na samba square one me de say me nka so bi amfane dan mo bi me de me dan de me fa Nigeria absolutely out of question. Because with this experience, and I didn't say me dan come Nigeria, me dan Ghana come Nigeria, and manage them. And then come me ponchian in yogu. Ma ko pra, me ma mo bis kan wa pra. Wo mo so mo dan be ma. Mo ma na mo so be ware wo mo ni o maji. Obi a what a choice. O pa but e don bomu a. E don e bi mo hu. E bi ma me no wan ka kire wo but yet you ni pensuan de da. So they as a you know, may advocate against them, but I'm talking about records across board. No, Mr. Jose, we are seeing that. Nancy was there for what's on problem money. On president was a manager in Ibia's on cause. Now, so Nigerian and go say, I never mobile. President wants are going to be an initiative. President wants are going to be an initiative. Criminality bar. Nigerian almost a union about to defend one. That's how they are. But you have no Ghana for. What's the Ghana for? And I what you know what they aha. Sanity. Jai Subano. So they are saying, we can pass them to us. because warning signs in now. Ghana was omunti. Fine. Problem be any. Almost on support, almost on be ware woman. Obe may be any Ghana no. As a Ghanaian, so obe o ukunu alata no fino. For what ye? Tena ho. Mo mama. Time na beso. Time na beso. Yadi ye wa minso. Once a bidi mo chiko e. Ga bidi mo chiko Nigerian. Once wa maybe. Nigeria for Ghana no. Ya omo return. What's the Nigerian be fi? Aba Ghana one sign e jango bi. Under strange circumstances. What be? Kana ni kwa sia bi ba be jina ka chose na Ghana for nso obi kuzu kunipa so what say you group to obi kunipa say uno Ghana mrani mo be di ogrum but here to me export that criminality we don't have to export criminality into our country whereas say yin ni mo say sango fo mo nye and yes uni mo dia fine but o mo ya we nkrofo mo din wo wiase nyinara o man kasankasa kro mo tumi kasa o mo nye o ma your guy be on TikTok, I'm friend Chimdi. I'm the why na yipe. That's what the Britain. O chire se na Nigeria ni tia. Ka wo kura wo ye Ghana ni. Ukro uti se because ono free one mama fi one papa fi one bibi fi wo. Last okasa no so Nigeria and Nigeria for no gra mu nyina. O pure. Yet no, who Ghana differently. Guy being so better than Ghana for no be entity Ghana for saying. Ebiana so not Britain or say Ghana for the intino no e be jino to make us a Ghana for nibi. And so Ghana for are the ones who bring Nibia Ghana abeku a Ghana neither. Who be that? Entina and intina just that country no vino, woman in one. Enti Ghana ni be a criminal. Another one to be who's a good criminality. But I want to for one case, and for meto him. Ain't possible. As analogy na Ghana for nibi, a good one way and men the assay. Who catch a Ghana for said, a if we in free, Ghana for woman to Mquania, law abiding citizens now, Omutu tax now, almost sort of Padi be Jumano. Women Samra, just because some Ghanaians are saying, say, I like for and go. So, oh, Ghanani. Wow, dream as some in premium, I'll be also an alkaya, who know me, no, but we have stop it. What dream moon? So they say, I dream moon. South African unity way. You can say, ye. Shawo, how many Ghana? Icons. Penny for Nipebano, who tunes, I'm not a Ghana citizenship. Or China better, I kidnap a gun anywhere. As a only cry, you can have an omcra because I can have one day, as Anglo for Omakazi. I was saying a lot of crying and of an ah, I know some of them. So will be over doubting Thomas's or Bible. The need to I didn't so who not yet. My son, oh, so I was something. Now, as some of my cardiac chat on the rush, a chat on the I'll come back. Now, Niambeza chat on the almost on defending Nigeria for when him baby guase. I beg a platform moon to be masupio because Nigeria, you know, what is a preco? What is a preco? Preco would jarena. Would jarena. Would jana was a quarter the team. Until a case is in the baba. Everybody about among you ready somebody defend why? Kind of funny air for a tiny packet. A tiny pa, and penny pa. African unity, one propose here. Well, for myself. Mr. Irational, I see everywhere. And go bunker.
Subscribe if you haven't done that yet. Share the video. And until next time, I'll see you guys. Stay safe. Peace out.